Duckworth, why are you standing in the closet?
Because there's no limo monster in here, sir.
Well, I guess he's got a point.
Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It's a duck blur. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales, woo! Every day they're out there making DuckTales, woo! Tales of daring, do bad and good luck tales, woo!
Welcome, terrors who laughed in the night to Geek Salad episode 224. We don't talk about Quack Pack. No. I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
I'm Katherine.
And tonight we are talking all about the Disney afternoon. So I'm actually going to hand the reins of this over to Mike because this was his baby. He really wanted to talk about this, and I felt it was good. We delayed this from our original April date just due to everything, but now we're here to talk about it. So, Mike,
yeah,
why we talk about the Disney afternoon?
Because if you didn't grow up watching the Disney afternoon, did you even grow up?
Well, we were already grown up by the time they came out.
The three of us were in high school. I had
you could have still watched it. Come on.
I was familiar enough.
I did watch. I love Tailspin. Tailspin was one of my jam.
I watched DuckTales and not much else of, well, some of the other things I did watch, but I was more of a Tiny Toons Animaniacs person by this point in time.
Yeah, gotcha.
I stuck with it from before it was the Disney afternoon all the way until really kind of Goof Troop era. I did go into Bunkers a little bit, but in Gargoyles, I mainly got in Gargoyles afterwards, though.
So the Schnookums and Meat funny cartoon show wasn't a thing there, Mike?
No. I didn't even know that existed until I wrote up the timeline earlier today.
Yeah, no. When you wrote, I had to look it up on Wikipedia. I'm like, what?
Yeah, the Schnookums and Meat funny. What the hell is this? I've never even heard of it.
Oh, it's something. And I do think we will definitely get to talking about that when we kind of get to the Professor and Marianne, or as they were originally called, and the rest portion of the show.
Yeah.
So before we get into like our thoughts on this, I think we can entwine our thoughts into some of the social media feedback.
Oh.
While it won't be
Excellent.
Well, it won't be chronological. We did get some decent feedback today. And this way, we'll just kind of branch off and talk all about the shows as we go here. So let's start with a friend of the podcast, Dave McLean, who is at McLean Dave, who writes, "My biggest memory of the Disney afternoon is Tailspin, which was unquestionably heavily plagiarized from the live-action show Tales of the Gold Monkey. It sounds like the ramblings of a bitter fan, but more than anything else, it's just a weird, specific thing to rip off."
Especially since Tales from the Cold Monkey only lasts like 12 episodes.
It did. And like, what was the episode count on Tailspin?
Tailspin was 65 episodes.
For one season.
Fun. Yeah, you say that one season, but it felt like way much longer.
Because it was 65 episodes. I mean, like network television is like 23 episodes a season.
Oh yeah, looking these up earlier today, it was weird. Like they'd have like one season of like 60 episodes and one season of like 8 episodes. And the next season like 13 episodes. It was really weird.
God, those poor Korean animators churning this shit out like.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot of it was weekday afternoon, so you're talking about they needed 5 episodes a week.
Yeah.
Right, with a minimum of repeats.
Yep.
Yeah, Joe, you're worried about those poor Korean animators. Just think about their poor taskmaster wielding that whip. You ever think about his wrist? No, you don't.
I don't, because I listen to Behind the Bastards. Anyways, no wonder they use a lot. No wonder they Disney got into repeating assets.
Oh yeah, they had to.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk a little bit about Tailspin.
So you see, Mr. Khan, sir, if we could get the stone back, what might it be worth to you?
Well, Mr. Balloon.
Baloo.
Yeah, that stone, as you call it, is an electrical alloy developed by my scientists.
So that's why it zapped me.
I'll make it worth your while to return it. What would you say to 100?
Only a lousy $100?
100,000 lousy bucks.
Dollars?
Dollars?
Sit tight, Sheer baby. We'll be back before you can say Sea Duck.
So I love the Jungle Book. I absolutely love the Jungle Book, but I didn't really watch this one. But again, I'm old. I'm older than everybody else, so I missed this boat. So
don't you really miss this plane?
See, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the Jungle Book. I never really was a fan of the Jungle Book, but this was during my plane geek phase when I loved planes and stuff like that. So anything that had to do with flying and kind of like Indiana Jones' style adventure, I was all in on.
Yeah.
And this kind of really gave off those vibes.
Yeah. I distinctly remember watching the premiere episodes where they introduced Baloo with his what was it, what was his name of his plane? Dang, I should have had this up.
Yep.
That's okay. Now, is this the one, Mike, that was originally going to be a tie-in to the Rescuers? One of the Disney Afternoon cartoons was going to be like, it was tied into the Rescuers because the Rescuers Down Under was coming out, and then when that didn't do what it was supposed to do, they just went with this.
It's possible. I've got it up right now. No, I don't really see any references to Rescuers.
Huh.
Is the show Tales of the Golden Monkey was inspiration.
Okay.
I guess Phil Harris was originally hired to reprise the role, but he was like 85 at the time.
85 and probably still drunk.
Yeah.
That man was a world-class alcoholic.
And half the cast was done by Jim Cummings, as is usual for a lot of the shows.
You're going to hear that name a lot during this entire episode, folks.
Yeah, I think the entire cast of Darkwing Duck was Jim Cummings, actually.
Well, Mel Blanc did everything, so
Yeah.
why not have somebody else that...
And it was kind of a tangential spin-off of DuckTales, too. Because in DuckTales, they did have Baloo work as a cargo pilot.
Okay.
But when they had their overseas adventures, Baloo was the pilot.
Really? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I
interesting.
do remember the town Cape Suzette.
Yeah.
And it was really cool because like you had to fly between these two mountain sides in order to get into like the giant bay area, and it was really, really cool design. And the mayor was like, I believe the mayor was Shere Khan.
Yeah, I remember seeing Shere Khan in a suit,
Yeah.
standing upright.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they didn't make him the villain, but instead they went with a new character, Don Carnage.
Attention, my noble pilots. This is Don Carnage here, speaking to you with my voice. Keep your eyes peeled, men. That plane with the box is bound to come out later or sooner.
All right, we ready to move on to a different social media post here? Are we done with Tailspin?
Sally Struthers was in it.
Oh dear.
Yeah. She voiced Rebecca.
Okay. Again, I'm sorry if I'm like, yep, okay. I'll have to believe you on that. All right, so the Oblivion Bar, which is at Oblivion Bar Pod, brings up, I don't know if it's our favorite cartoon of the 90s, but it definitely has one of the best theme songs, and that is DuckTales.
Oh.
What is it, Wimpleman?
Well, I have good news and bad news, sir.
What's the bad news?
Some goods from one of your factories got lost.
What? Then what's the good news, man?
Well, it was only a boatload of ice cream.
Ice cream sank?
A sea monster was sighted in the...
A sea monster ate my ice cream? A sea monster ate my ice cream! Ah!
Okay. I thought they were going to go with my favorite theme song, but nope, not yet. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Most of my knowledge of DuckTales does come from the reboot, which is so goddamn brilliant.
Oh, the reboot is amazing.
Yeah.
I should watch that.
It's
3 seasons, so it told a complete story too. So
cool. It's on Disney Plus.
Of course.
It just is. I think the thing is also I love the fact that they have been rebooting some of this stuff because it gives me a better appreciation for the characters, especially because Scrooge McDuck is such a weird one because essentially until those reboots came out, he was a meme of diving into a pool of gold.
Yeah. I'm still always amazed at the fact that he the guy who voiced him was Wilbur from Mr. Ed.
That's right, he was.
And not Scottish at all.
Nope.
But he did a really good job.
Yeah.
I know I watched this one, I just don't remember it very well.
I've gone back and watched some of the episodes. They're still fun. They're still good, standalone ones. One of my favorites is Magica Dispel casts a spell over the mansion that all of its residents, all their worst fears come to life. And Cogsworth, the butler, apparently his fear is that the car turns into a giant monster, a jaguar, and so he hides in the closet. And when Uncle Scrooge finds him, he says, "I'm hiding from the limo monster." And Scrooge is like, "All right, whatever."
As you will.
Yep.
Yeah. So let me ask a question then, Mike. When it comes to going back and watching the older, in this case, DuckTales, against the knowledge that you have watched and loved the reboot, do they still hold up, or is it just like it's still where I liked it at that time, but I'm much more invested in the new thing?
Well, I know I am definitely. The new one is better because it actually tells a concise story. It's a long form storytelling as opposed to back then it was very episodic.
Yeah.
But, occasionally they throw in those 2, 3, 5 parters, and that's I thought where these shows really kind of
when they did story arcs. And really, it wasn't until Gargoyles came along that you got like a consistent season-long story, as opposed to these episodic kind of, story of the day kind of, story.
So DuckTales, it started off with a 5-parter that told the story of how the nephews came to live with Uncle Scrooge and their first big adventure, and then most of the rest of the first season, which is like 65 episodes, most of them are just one-offs. But then season 2 starts with 2 5-parters back to back. Like the first one was time traveling and introducing Bubba Duck, the cave duck.
Yeah.
And then it follows that up with a 5-parter that introduces Gizmo Duck.
Yep.
And those two are fantastic little stories. But so the big long arcs are really the strengths, but the single ones they're still fun to watch.
And give credit to DuckTales for keeping Disney as an animation studio in the public consciousness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This was like their first full-blown TV effort, whereas the film, the animated film studio was kind of struggling.
Yeah.
Deciding to put an emphasis on TV and try to go for the afternoon syndicated market was Pretty good idea on one of Michael Eisner's few good ideas.
Especially since they were like reimagining classic Disney characters into like kind of a new setting.
Not a modern setting, but a more contemporary setting.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is also is that they're essentially lifting it from like the Donald Duck comic books.
Yeah.
Of the 50s and 60s with far less Ayn Randian ideals. Seriously, I've read articles about those. But yeah, I'm looking at what like the stats you put on here for DuckTales, 87 to 90. So pretty much throughout like the end of the drought season.
Yeah.
100 episodes.
Yeah.
Is insane. 4 seasons and 1 feature film.
Yeah, Treasure of the Lost Lamp.
Right. Which I
And
remember that just being that was like, okay, they're making this as a movie. All right, whatever.
I've actually never watched that.
Neither have I.
But it was also kind of an interesting little twist to feature. Say, hey, here's Donald, and now he's going off to the Navy, and you're hardly ever going to see him again. Donald was in like maybe 3-4 episodes of the entire show.
Yeah, that's just to connect them, connect the series to a larger Disney canon.
Yeah,
right.
So it's actually interesting is in our conversation here because Electric DCX at PSN_ElectricDC on Twitter says that loves DuckTales, and if you were a fan of the old ones, the newest DuckTales on Disney Plus is really incredible and actually funny, and I will go to my grave.
Yeah, it's more Gravity Falls than original DuckTales, but that's not a bad thing.
It is, and the other thing that does too, and this kind of harkens back to why the Paul Rudish Mickey Mouse cartoons are so brilliant. They're not afraid to delve into the older characters. Like I saw, there was that one episode where they featured the 3 Caballeros.
Yeah.
And, it was essentially Donald getting the band back together with Jose Carroca and Panchito.
Yeah. That was a fun episode.
That was a really fun episode. Plus, too, the voice casting.
Yeah.
And the new DuckTales is fantastic. I mean, David Tennant aside, because he's just so goddamn brilliant.
Yeah.
But like, who's it? It's oh my god, why can't I remember the names of the guys doing Huey, Dewey, and Louie?
Billy Pooty.
Daniel
Pooty, that's it.
From Community.
Bobby
Moynihan.
Yeah.
From SNL, and who's the other one? Is it? It's not Ben Schwartz, is it?
Yeah, it is.
It
Yes.
is Ben Schwartz. Okay.
Yeah.
And you get Kate McCucci as Webby.
Yeah.
And Beck Bennett as
Launchpad.
Yeah. Great voice cast.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely amazing voice cast.
And I do love how they brought in Catherine Tate to do Magic of the Spell as well. So nice little Doctor Who reunion there.
Nice. All right, so let's move on with ODPH podcast at OD Parlay Hour brings up DuckTales was always a classic, but thought Darkwing Duck was better than most thought.
Yes.
That's also followed up by Talking Shiz at talking_shiz, who says that's a good question. You got DuckTales, Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, Tailspin, Goof Troop. My favorite would be Darkwing Duck.
I am the terror that flaps in the night. I am the scourge that pecks at your nightmares and...
Launchpad, what are you doing?
It's a birdie. Want to see my doggy? Off.
Launchpad!
Sorry, DW.
I am the terror.
Ow! That horrible man is getting away with the donations!
I know that. I am the terror. Oh, never mind.
So let's talk a little bit about Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck was hands down my favorite.
I think the timing of when it came out was perfect because it was such a pull from the Batman
animated series.
popularity. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's simultaneously a parody of comic book, shows and movies, as well as being a really good comic book show and movie.
Well, you know what's funny? It predates. It parodies the self-seriousness of comic book movies, Snyderverse, even though it predates it by a few.
Yeah, by a couple decades.
By decades, but it kind of saw the trend of where comic books were going about being just so self-serious, and they can't, they can't take a joke or anything like that, and just played that up.
Yeah. And I thought Darkwing is just like he's basically in it for the popularity. At least at first, anyway. He's he's there, like he wants to make sure, hey, get my good side here. His name is Darkwing, DARKWING. Was to get his name in all the papers, and it's his development that really kind of sells the whole thing.
Yeah. I feel like, again, going back to the new DuckTales reboot, when they brought him in,
it was a brilliant episode.
And he has essentially lost his mind.
Yeah,
because
he's sort of like an animated version of Moon Knight.
Kind of. I think, what is it, like, he is kind of an actor playing the role of Darkwing Duck, but he believes that he's Darkwing Duck. And
but no, it's more of...
So he's Michael Keaton in Birdman.
I love how, like, the fact that the old, like, retired Darkwing was voiced by Jim Cummings, who voiced Darkwing in the original.
Perfect.
And, again, Jim Cummings voiced pretty much half the cast.
Oh man, yeah, it's crazy how many, and they're all different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Anything else we have to say about Darkwing Duck?
That has the best theme song.
It does. It's so 90s, though. It's so early 90s, though.
It still got that really good chorus, though. Come on.
When You're in Trouble, call DW?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get dangerous.
By the way, go ahead.
Also, it's people think it's a spinoff of DuckTales because it's got Launchpad in there, but there's enough differences where it's like it's not really a spinoff because Launchpad should be working for Scrooge McDuck right now, and he's not.
Right.
And it also brings in Gizmo Duck, which is great because Darkwing hates Gizmo Duck because he's so much of a better hero than Darkwing is.
Okay, but if you're not a crook, how come you're wearing a mask?
Hey, let's not get personal, helmet head.
It came with the outfit, but enough repartee. Give me that.
No, I'm the hero in this town. I'll get rid of the bomb.
No, I will.
I will.
Give me the hands
Get
off.
your little...
Give me that. No way.
Now.
Gee, that doesn't sound good.
Oh, what a master of deduction.
That's funny. That's one I really should go back and watch more episodes of on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It's one I've watched a few episodes here and there, like with my kids.
That one's 3 seasons and 91 episodes.
The output.
Yeah.
The sheer output.
Yeah.
Because it's so weird, because like another show that we're going to be talking about pretty soon is also 3 seasons, but with 65 episodes. It's like the seasons are really, really weird.
Get to work. So I got one more here, and it is from @PsychoRed, which is PHSYCO Red, and they just shout "Tailspin." I missed that earlier. I apologize, but fantastic. Well, thank you everybody for getting back to us so quickly. I sent that out this morning. Got a lot of great feedback. Full disclosure, I knew Dave was going to talk about Kel the Gold Monkey because I actually saw him yesterday.
Nice.
And he asked what the topic was. And I'm like, oh, we're doing Disney Afternoon. It's like, I was too old for it. but Tailspin is a ripoff of Tale of the Gold Monkey, and I'm like, I'm never going to remember that by tomorrow, Dave. I address it in Twitter when I go to Twitter.
And yes, he is right, 100%.
Yep. Awesome. Well, let's cover some of these shows, Mike, that didn't get hit upon in the social media. And the first one, the technical first animated series of the Disney afternoon, is The Adventures of the Gummy Bears from 1985
Bouncing here and there
to
and
1991.
everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
They are the gummy bears.
You'll stay for breakfast, won't you, dear?
Oh, I'd love to stay, but we must get back before the castle wakes up.
I'll eat her breakfast.
Princess, that was a very brave thing that you did, imitating Duke Igthorn. I think I speak for all of us when I say, please think of yourself as a part of our family.
Thank you, Zummy. I'm honored.
Huh. We might as well start selling tickets to Gummy Glen. We're letting in every Tom, Dick, and Mary as it is.
Gruffy, dear, I think I speak for everyone here when I say, put a sock in it.
Is it wrong that I still pronounce it with like the harsh German, like all Hairbo products, the Gummibärchen?
The Gummy Bears?
Well, it's not the song.
I know.
And the only reason it's an animated series is because Michael Eisner's kids love gummy bears.
Yep.
Yeah. But you know what? It did the job. So that, well, it was an out there idea that actually paid off.
Yeah.
And that's where I learned about toadies.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had never heard about toadies before, so this was the show that taught me about that.
Yeah.
Because,
I remember this being originally a Saturday morning cartoon,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
it got integrated into the afternoon slots.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was part of the ABC morning cartoon block.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember watching them on Saturday mornings as well. But the voice cast was pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah, Jim Cummings.
Hey, yeah, Jim Cummings was in there.
I'm sensing a theme here.
I know.
But I mean, June Foray.
Yep.
Did one of the main characters in there. Lorenzo Music did one of the main voices in there. There's Rob Paulson was in there as well. And Brian Cummings, who I'm assuming is in relation to Jim Cummings. Or maybe I'm wrong. No, I think I'm wrong, actually.
Okay.
Yep.
No relation.
Yeah.
Strangely is a very common name.
Yeah. But Peter Collins also does a few voices in there as well.
Oh, okay. As Optimus Bear.
And Corey Burton does a lot of voices in there as well.
It's funny looking at that. So 6 seasons.
Yeah.
65 episodes.
Yeah. The episode count is really weird. I've got it here. It's like season 1 is 13 episodes.
Well, it's funny. Well, it's funny too because in syndicated afternoon cartoon shows, you don't know when the season starts and when it ends.
Yeah.
Right.
Like network television, it's generally thought, okay, so it's September to April or May is when the season is, with a high in December.
Yeah.
In syndicated cartoons, you don't know when it's, you really don't know when the season starts or ends.
Yeah, just looking over these seasons here, it looks like most of the seasons are start in September, end in December.
Yeah, but again, it started as a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's going to have a bit of a different pattern at the beginning.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, it actually told us, a decent story. It's like, that has this kid that, set in like the Middle Ages, has this kid that finds these magical bears in the forest, and they have this gummy berry juice that when they drink it, they can bounce around and jump around. And when humans drink it, it becomes super strong for a limited time.
Huh.
And then they have to help the kid defend the kingdom against the villainous Duke Igthorn with all his ogres and toadies.
He's got one toady. His toady is named Toady.
The Toady Cody Shody.
Chess McNeil also does a few voices in some of these shows as well.
Katherine, at least Warmbo's not there.
Mr.
Toady? So yeah, I don't think I can't remember if like my sister was into the gummy bears. I mean, she would have been 10, so she may have been. We were,
because that was
full disclosure. We were like strictly an NBC Saturday morning cartoon family, so
we did some channel switching, but I can't remember which network we watched mostly on Saturday mornings.
Yeah,
you'd have to give me the lineups, and I could tell you.
Yeah, it was primarily for us. It was like the Smurfs and the Snorks, and Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Yep, all three of those, but I definitely liked Adventures of the Gummy Bears, as evidenced by the fact that I still remember the theme song and Toady. Toady had an episode where he like tried to break free, and then he was like, "No, I like being a toady," and toadying up to my boss.
And Andy, technically, the first 4 seasons of Gummy Bears aired on NBC.
Did it?
Ah, okay.
Okay, well, maybe my sister did watch it then. That's all right. That's interesting. Well, you know what? It's because ABC wasn't merged with Disney yet.
Right, and then on the 5th season from 1989 to 1990, they moved to ABC for that.
Oh, okay.
And then the last season aired during the Disney afternoon.
Which is what was the local channel that got the Disney afternoon here? Which UHF channel was it? Was it 56, 38, or 25?
25. It was when Fox was starting out.
Okay,
got it.
And actually, if you read up the history on the Disney Disney afternoon,
yeah,
I guess Michael Eisner had a friendship with the then chairman of Fox, and when Disney tried to buy a local, or they bought a local independent LA television station and transferred all the Disney afternoon cartoons from the local Fox affiliate to their own in-house TV channel. The chairman of Fox got so pissed off he tried to basically cancel Disney afternoon on the rest of the Fox affiliates. Nationwide.
Wow. Well, Eisner did a lot of that.
Yeah.
He was not known to work well with others.
Yeah, no.
And he picked Fox. I'm shocked.
I know.
That must have been after they decided to do MGM Hollywood Studios, because they had the alien stuff in the Great Movie Ride.
Right.
So he must have had some kind of deal with Fox to get that in there, because I don't think he would have gotten it otherwise.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on. So we did already cover DuckTales. Next up on here is Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Yep.
We're going in there just like we said. Claudine may have mechanical marbles. He does. He may have fiendish thingies. He does. He may even have hundreds of cutthroat, bloodthirsty thugs.
Yup, them too.
But we got something he doesn't have. Enough sense to get out of here? Courage! And our friendship binding us together. So follow me. We've got a date with a Ruby.
He's bonkus in the conkus, you know.
Yeah, but he is my friend.
Oh, well, you only live twice.
3 seasons, 65 episodes.
That was a big one for me too.
Okay.
And
Joe, Katherine.
I think my brother watched it. My mother tried to watch the new movie, and I was like, "Mom, you're not the audience for this."
Yeah, no.
Like she probably watched the like old Chippendales cartoons, but she did not watch Rescue Rangers.
Right. Yeah, I want to talk about that new movie, but let's talk about the Disney afternoon stuff first.
Yep.
How many days old were you when you found out that like their outfits were inspired by Indiana Jones and Magnum PI?
probably about 5 years ago.
It was within this decade.
Yeah.
I feel like I heard about that in college.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, if you were pretty much in tune with pop culture in the 80s, you kind of saw it.
Yeah.
I was not.
Yeah.
I was like 12.
Yep.
He was 12 by the time the decade ended.
Yeah.
And I wasn't paying attention to it at all. So I just knew that there were these TV shows on TV, and McDonald's has another Happy Meal out.
I do remember finding.
Andy, don't forget the McDLT.
God damn it!
I also remember having really weird thoughts about Gadget.
Everyone, you know what? Everybody needs to be ushered into manhood in their own certain way. Some of us, it was Chitara from Thundercats.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think for me, honestly, it was Debbie Harry from the Muppets. So.
Same for Brian Henson, actually.
Ah.
When she was on when she was on the show, they went. Brian Henson was a big fan, and they went out to dinner, and Jim made sure that Brian sat next to Debbie, and Brian's just like, squeeze! I can't talk.
Why are you keeping your binder in your lap, Brian? Oh man.
Because the napkin's not enough.
Yeah, so Chip and Dale. Chip and Dale. It's. I this is one I haven't watched a whole lot of.
I haven't gone back to watch this one, but yeah, I remember watching the hell of it when I was a kid, though.
Yeah.
As is true with most of these shows, actually.
You know what, Mike? Maybe this is the one that was kind of like originally slotted for the Rescuers.
That's possible.
89 to 90. It's entirely possible.
Rescuing rodents? You don't say.
I'm just trying to look it up here.
Yep. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So while Mike's looking that up, who here has actually watched the new movie on Disney Plus?
I haven't yet.
Katherine, have you watched it?
Nope.
Oh
No.
dear, I'm the only one who's watched it. Then.
Do
Hasn't seen it
you
yet
recommend
either.
watching it, Andy?
Huh?
You recommend watching it?
I wholeheartedly recommend watching this movie.
Yeah.
We were 10 minutes into it, and I texted Mike, like, we've been watching this movie for 10 minutes, me and the kids, and we are having a fucking blast. It pays. And the thing is, too, is that it could have easily trod that whole, oh man, what we did was stupid. And it doesn't. It actually pays such sweet homage to the show. And still, I mean, they make fun of some of the tropes, like, every episode ends with them laughing. And they just laugh until that laugh uncomfortably peters out.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm not going to do any justice telling you things about it. You need to watch it, especially for one extended cameo, which has nothing to do with Disney.
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about. I saw it posted on like Facebook or something like that.
Oh, okay. So someone's already ruined it then, but I don't want to ruin it for you guys. It is an hour and a half that you will not regret spending on this. This is my Top Gun Maverick, by the way.
All right, then.
I found it, Andy, and yes, you are correct.
Ah, good. I knew it was one. I was correct. I heard it from somebody else, and I couldn't remember it.
Yeah.
I deserve no credit for that.
When Tad Stones first came up with the idea of the Rescue Rangers, Chip and Dale were not part of the show. He initially pitched doing a TV series based on Rescuers, but Disney rejected that idea as a sequel to the film was already in production.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
So then he switched it to like doing kind of an Indiana Jones style thing, starring a mouse and with a chameleon, and earlier version of Gadget and earlier Monterey Jack. And then when he brought that up to Eisner and Katzenberg, they suggested switching out and going with Chip and Dale in there. and then eventually it became Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers.
Huh. Really? And they were so fixated on the whole critter aspect of it, like the rodent aspect of it. It's almost like they had the character models already built.
Yeah. And Chip was voiced by Tress MacNeille, and Dale was voiced by Corey Burton.
Yeah. And now they're voiced by John Mulaney and Andy Samberg.
That's the one thing that really threw me off about the trailer, is that they don't even sound remotely like, they're not even trying to sound
Right. But it also takes place 30 years after the show wrapped.
Yeah.
So.
Oh.
What?
Gadget's personality was based upon the inventive female character Jordan in the 1985 movie Real Genius.
Cool.
Wow.
Val Kilmer starring Real Genius.
Yep. To get your to tie back to Top Gun, the first one, not Maverick. Oh man, that's interesting. Okay, that's cool. And again, I'm blown away by the fact that it was like they weren't going to be shaken off of this whole idea. It has to be a tiny rodent. Oh, we can do the Rescuers. I can't do it. There's a movie. What about a mouse that dresses like Indiana Jones? Oh, I don't know. What do we got? Oh, fuck it. We got Chip and Dale. Take them.
Well, I do like the fact that DuckTales, it was entirely anthropomorphic world. This one, it's just Chip and Dale living in a normal world. Like, because if you go back to the old cartoons, it was always Chip and Dale were always the small ones.
Yep.
And living in the big world, so they kept that. I like that. That was a good idea. And then they had to fight against their main villain, Fat Cat.
Yeah. Voiced by Jim Cummings.
Yes, it was. And they also had a villain, Professor Norton Nimno, also voiced by Jim Cummings.
Oh man, that's amazing. That is just gold.
Disney cartoons in the 90s were pretty much Jim Cummings.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's move on now to the next one on the list, because we've already covered Tailspin Darkwing Duck, Goof Troop.
Max, it's my diploma!
Mr. G.G. Goof has successfully defeated its advanced beginner's course and is hereby awarded the degree of WWD Widget Waffler Deluxe.
Oh, joy! Rapture! Now I can take that job in Spoonerville, my old hometown. Start a packing, Maxie! We're moving up in the world!
Leave home? But Dad, what about my friends?
Plenty of trees in Spoonerville. They even got a lake. You won't have to fish in the sink anymore.
Really?
Yup. Oh, my old school pal Pete lives there. Wait till you meet him. What a guy!
92 reruns through 96, 2 seasons, 78 episodes, and 2 films.
Yep.
All episodes aired for the first time between September and December.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 78 episodes, started airing in September, finished airing in December. That was it.
Yeah, that makes sense, though.
I'm still surprised that they made it 2 seasons.
Had sex at least once.
Yeah, I'm surprised they made it that long.
Yeah.
But then again, not really if you consider the reception that the movie got.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a beloved movie that you really shouldn't really be surprised that it lasted that long.
Mike, what year did a Goofy movie come out?
Oh.
Because I'm looking at you writing here, 1992 is the release date for Goof Troop. But something in the back of my head says that Goofy movie came out first.
No, a Goofy movie came out in 1995. April 7th, 1995. Yep. With one of the best soundtracks in any movie ever.
Hey, it allowed Tevin Campbell to eat for another year, so...
Actually, 2 years, because he came back to D23 a few years ago for the Goofy movie 20th anniversary.
Okay.
He sang live on stage.
Oh, nice. Okay, I don't know why. I don't know if this is just me. Joe, Katherine, do Did you think that the Goofy movie came out in, like, the early 90s?
No, because I remember the Goofy movie was a reaction to Goof Troop.
Right. But my dates are all screwed up now. It was the drugs. I swear to God, it was the drugs.
Yeah, it was that. Yeah. That's what I was leaning towards. Was those were your lost years?
Yep. I only got more lost after that too, sadly. Yeah. So Goof Troop. Was this, yep. I know everybody holds the first movie because an extremely goofy movie is shitty. I'm sorry, it's shitty.
Never seen that one actually.
It's so bad. Well, part of it is it's them trying really, really hard. And Pauly Shore is in it, and Pauly Shore is the poster child for
so. Catherine's reaction says everything.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, Pauly Shore is in a Goofy movie as well.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he playing the same character?
His character makes the Leaning Tower of Jesus.
Oh, wait, I thought that was in the Extremely Goofy movie.
Nope, I was in the first one.
Oh, God damn it. Cause I know it's like one of those movies that like Todd is always like, Andy, you got to watch a Goofy movie. I'm like, I don't want your Goofy movie, so I never have.
It's surprisingly well done. It is very touching.
Eh.
Well, I think it is.
I don't think I've seen it, but I really like, the old Goofy, Goofy, how to exercise.
Yes.
Goofy, how to drive a car.
Yes.
This is my Goofy. I'm like, I've seen bits of Goof Troop and bits of the movie, and I'm like, no.
Try like at least watch parts of it, just to.
No.
Well, yeah.
I think she's made up her mind, Mike.
Yeah. I will say though, there was
Disney Plus gives me access to all the Goofy I want, which is so much Goofy demonstrating how not to do anything.
Well, in those shows, it's Georgia Geef, not Goofy.
Right. Oh, that's right. But the the thing is that like back when Netflix had all like the Disney short collections and they had all the Disney Christmas movies and stuff, one of the Christmas movies actually had like a thing with Goofy and Max bringing a girl home for Christmas. And it was just like, okay, well, this well is dry. I think, honestly, it might have been my first true impression of Max that I didn't see the movies. And that was my impression. I'm like, okay, I need to move on.
It's weird, like with Goof Troop, I didn't get into it immediately when it aired. I remember getting into it maybe a year afterwards because I had heard good things.
Yeah.
And so I got into it. I was like, "Oh, this is actually really enjoyable."
It's interesting because again, I feel like people forget about the show, but they flock to the first movie, just the first movie, not the Extremely Goofy movie.
Well, Wallace Shawn also voices the principal in it.
Oh God! And that would be pre-Toy Story.
It would be.
Yeah. All right. Yep. There we go. All right. Well, let's move on to one that is not as well known. Nobody brought it up on social media.
Yeah.
Bonkers.
Bonkers, stop cracking your knuckles.
You need only ask.
Now will you please stop cracking my knuckles?
Sorry, it's just this waiting, then waiting, endlessly waiting, well, waiting to wait for more waiting.
Yeah, well, that's what a stakeout's all about there, pal. Always remember the 3 A's and 1 P. Be alert, aware, attentive, and patient.
What was the last one? I wasn't listening.
Patient. Now, quit trying my patience and look for Flanagan's thugs.
Yes, it's a dark night. Moonless, full of evil, with danger lurking behind every shadow. Anything can happen on a night like this.
Do you work at being this odd, or does it just come naturally?
Yeah, I vaguely remember watching this. I watched
93 to 94, reruns through 96. Heavily inspired by Who Framed Roger Rabbit, 4 seasons, 61 episodes. Spin-off of a short-lived anthology show called Raw Tunage. I've seen clips of Bonkers and it's inspired by Roger Rabbit. In how would you describe this, Mike?
Well, it's basically it's kind of set in a world where you have the toons that can interact with real people,
Right.
despite the fact that the whole thing is a cartoon. So there's
I
still
was going to say the whole show is animated.
yeah.
That what?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's Bonkers Bobcat. He's an animated bobcat who gets fired from his cartoon, and so he decides to be a cop, and he gets teamed with two separate partners throughout the series. It's weird. Like there's like Miranda episodes where his partner is a cop named Miranda something, and then there was another character that he got teamed up with. Yeah,
I know very little about this, but my reaction is the same as Joe's with the "It's a What Now."
Oh, by the way, guess who voiced Bonkers?
Jim Cummings?
It is Jim Cummings.
This is becoming the Jim Cummings Power Hour.
It really is.
What's really weird is that one of his partners is voiced by Jim Cummings.
Oh my god!
So it's Jim Cummings playing off of Jim Cummings.
I mean, I'll give them some credit for trying to do something different in terms of not using established characters that just kind of need a new setting.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're looking at a one year run, which still had 4 seasons though. Explain that to me. But I mean, I don't see any like Bonkers fan sites. Nobody's like clamoring for a Bonkers reboot.
No, it would be one I wouldn't mind going back and just checking out a few episodes if they're on Disney Plus. But I remember this was really at the tail end of when I was watching Disney Afternoon, and even then I was like, this isn't quite as good as Darkwing.
They want to impress me. They'll actually put real people into the next one.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone on the internet somewhere is clamoring for it. We just don't know them.
Oh,
yep.
That's interesting. I was just looking down through some of the recurring characters in it, and I guess Brer Bear from Song of the South made a cameo appearance in one of the episodes.
Brer Bear's got to eat.
Big shock.
Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, Goofy, Horse Collar, Clarabelle, Cow, they all appeared in different episodes. Darkwing Duck appeared in a couple episodes as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
God, their agents have pull.
Use those cells.
They're all animated. Yeah, exactly.
Well, Darkwing Duck was voiced by Jim Cummings too, so he was on set already.
It's already in the booth.
Yeah.
Here, Jim, we're just going to slide you some other pages. Oh, for God's sakes.
Let's get dangerous.
Oh, God.
I met Jim Cummings actually once.
Did you?
Yeah, very nice guy. He was out in D23, I want to say 2017.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Met him shortly after I met Rob Paulson. Super nice. Rob Paulson was a ridiculously nice guy.
That's really sweet.
Yeah.
All right. What do we have next?
Next, we have a big one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I am shocked nobody brought this up on social media.
They
Gargoyles.
probably didn't think of it as Disney.
It's
right, because it was towards the tail end, and it was, it's.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember
much
watching
much more mature. Yeah.
I watched the first season of this on Disney Afternoon, but I didn't really catch up on the rest of the episodes until I bought them on DVD like maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah. I have watched episodes of this, and it's not enough to hold my attention, but I can see why people obsess about this show.
We still haven't said what the title is.
Oh, yes, of course.
Gargoyles?
It is Gargoyles.
Gargoyles.
I thought we said Gargoyles. Okay, my bad.
No, we didn't. No, we really didn't. We just read it and just went off.
So 1,000 years ago, you were betrayed by the one human you trusted. Does anyone else know about you?
Only the man called Xanatos. He brought us here.
Oh, this can't be happening.
Is this a new friend, Goliath?
Boy, I hope so.
This is Elisa Maza, a detective?
Second class NYPD.
What exactly does a detective do, Lars?
Well, when somebody does something wrong, I find out who and arrest them.
Who says what's wrong?
Well, we have a justice system, laws, penalties, assessments, that the people decide.
You mean the humans decide?
Yeah, no, this was
so good.
I was in college, so appointment watching was much more difficult.
Yep.
Because you had to do it around classes. But like the people that I hung out with and during these years in college we were all into Gargoyles.
Yeah. I mean, when you have a Disney afternoon show that gets downright Shakespearean, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep, literally.
I mean, it dealt with very mature themes.
Yeah.
You know, it was a Disney cartoon that did not feel like a Disney cartoon.
Yeah.
Right. It was also like it was appointment watching, and you had to have access to a television, which again, in these years in college was, not easy. You either had to have a television in your room, or you had to like go and try to take over a lounge somewhere and be like, no, we are watching Gargoyles. Be like, we're watching 90210. All right, never mind.
We're watching Melrose Place. No, we're not.
And one of the villains is literally Macbeth.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing the trailer for this for the first time when they released the VHS for The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh.
And it was like, oh, this looks really good. And unfortunately, I never got around to watching it first run because I was just kind of in a transitional stage. Like I was going from, like I was actually moving away from home for the first time, kind of like being on my own. And it's just like, don't have time to watch cartoons.
Hmm.
And but the amazing thing is that given how loved and how respected this cartoon is, it doesn't get a lot of love from Disney itself.
Yeah, this one was released to really kind of try and take away audience from Batman the Animated Series, and it did not, because Batman the Animated Series was so awesome.
Yeah,
but that kind of deterred people from watching this one, which is a damn shame because this one was so amazing.
It did find its own niche and its own audience.
Yeah,
and as time has gone on, that's only kind of grown, but you still don't see any effort from Disney or to either like a reboot or update it or include it as part of their overall kind of marketing strategy.
Yeah.
Well, I think part of it is the fact that the voice actors that they had, you've got, we're talking Next Generation. We've got Jonathan Frakes, we've got Michael Dorn, we've got Marina Sirtis.
Yeah. And Brent Spiner was in there as well a couple times.
Yep.
And I mean the main character, the main gargoyle is voiced by Keith David, whose voice is just brilliant.
Yeah, but the thing is, do you know how hard is it to find any sort of merchandising related to the Gargoyles?
Yeah.
Mm.
You don't, outside of like fan created, like content, creator, fan created content, you don't see a lot of merchandising from Disney as it regards to Gargoyles or anything like that. So it's like, is there any hope for Disney bringing this franchise alive?
I know a few years ago, was it Jordan Peele?
Yep.
He mentioned how much he loved Gargoyles and how much he wanted to make a live action one. He was just waiting for Disney to greenlight him. This was like shortly after. This was right after his first big one.
Yeah, Get Out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so trying to throw around some clout, and Disney was like, "Nah, no thanks."
No, I'm honestly curious though, and I might just kind of be screwing up the timeline here. Was Toonami a thing when Gargoyles was out, or was that after?
No, it was on the same time. Toonami was like 94, 95.
Okay.
But Toonami, I can see where Toonami might be a competitor because that's when you start seeing like Cartoon Network bring in anime, like Dragon Ball, Gundam Wing, Sailor Moon.
Right.
Yeah, Toonami technically started in 1997, but the era that everybody remembers it from with Tom was 1999. That's when they started doing like the Gundam Wing. That's actually where I first watched Gundam Wing.
Okay. But yeah, I think Gargoyles is a fine. This is one I think I need to watch, like invest more time in.
Yeah. I did go back and rewatch like the first season not too long ago. It's a little dated. I mean, like in the
the animation is stiff. The animation is really stiff.
Yeah, and like
oh my god, stone characters being stiff. Film at 11.
I'm talking the human characters too, though.
It started like with a 5-episode story arc, and during one of those episodes, they have to get software discs that are 3.5-inch floppies.
Oh, that's so modern. I've used 7-inch floppies in my lifetime.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Be careful; those have 15 megabytes of data on them.
Don't touch the middle. You'll erase everything.
Don't touch the middle. Oh, I can't remember the time I explained to a teacher. He's like, I can't get this disc to load our quiz for today, and I was like, oh, that's how you've been carrying it around. Never touch that part. Never touch that part. He's like, what?
It's gone.
Yeah. I mean, that was a 5.5-inch floppy that he wrecked, but I'm still like,
that's why I used my Apple IIc.
I grew up with an Apple II Plus.
Oh, nice.
Fancy.
So we ready to move on to the rest of these?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, so I'm gonna go in the order that Mike put these in the timeline here.
I mean, technically, the next one actually premiered before Gargoyles, but I prefer Gargoyles.
But
yeah, we're not. Yeah,
bad.
I think Gargoyles will engender a lot more conversation than Aladdin. 94 to 95, 3 seasons. Again, trying to figure that out. 86 episodes. If you want to see like what they were supposed to be doing instead of working on those 2 shitty direct-to-video Aladdin sequels, here's where all their efforts were going.
Yeah, I remember watching like a few clips here and there. I never actually sat down and watched it though, and I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just kind of the same. It was the movie but cheaper and
the best.
I mean, how can you? The thing is, how can you have an Aladdin TV show where Robin Williams isn't voicing the genie?
Right.
The same way you can have the direct to VHS.
Right.
Where, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it too, and it was awful, and that was it for me.
Yeah. And I understand it, at the time, being a cynical post college grad.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't marketed to me and stuff like that, and I understand that. But at the same point, it's like you can see it's like, oh yeah, they're just the TV equivalent of a cash grab.
Do you remember who voiced the genie?
Right.
Yes.
Jim Cummings.
No, it was not.
Amazingly, no.
It was Dan Castellaneta. Homer Simpson.
Right.
Yeah. Oh,
right. I did know that.
Awful.
But hey, they brought back Gilbert Gottfried.
Well, the best like thing that somebody said about the Aladdin animated series was that when they brought new characters in, they were usually really interesting, which is great because all of the characters that we know and love from the movie are bland now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they did have a villain that named Mirage, who was really fairly interesting. I mean, I've never really watched too many episodes, but I do remember seeing a few bits with her, and she was actually pretty formidable for them. So.
All right. Well, I know we've been waiting for this one. The Schnookums and Meat Funny Cartoon Show, 1995, 13 episodes.
Didn't know existed before today, so I don't have a lot to say.
Nope.
So my research for this episode essentially was going on YouTube and finding a whole bunch of like collections of Disney afternoon stuff. Schnookums and Meat was essentially Disney's attempt to emulate Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Even the art style.
Like the close-up art style of like the super gross close-ups and stuff. That's all there.
Yeah. Yeah, when I looked it up today, when I saw it pulled it up on Wikipedia, they said, they were trying to do an edgy cartoon like Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
And it failed miserably.
Yes.
Yeah, well, Disney didn't do edgy
No.
in the 90s.
No.
No, they didn't.
No. What a terrible idea.
Oh yeah, no, it's. And the funny thing is too, if you go, I'm going to refer back to the Paul Rudish Mickey Mouse cartoons. Those take elements of Ren and Stimpy and they work. They made them work. This does not. So, all right, well, moving on. All right, Timon and Pumbaa, 95 to 99, three seasons, 85 episodes.
Another cash grab going. People like them in the movie. They want more.
No, we don't.
Wasn't Nathan Lane and Isabella though? Was it?
It might have been. I don't know. Let me look it up here. I never watched the show.
Yeah, I didn't either because I was so distracted by the Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, and the Lion King 2.5 or 1.5.
Pumbaa was voiced by Ernie Sabella throughout the entire thing.
Shocking.
No shock.
Timon voiced in early episodes by Nathan Lane.
Okay.
But also by a guy named Quentin Flynn.
Quentin Flynn.
And then season 2 and 3, he was voiced by a guy named Kevin Shawn.
Okay.
Yeah. When did Nathan Lane do the Birdcage? And then I saw him on Broadway.
Yeah.
In the 90s.
Well, I actually saw Ernie Sabella on Broadway about 15 years ago in Man of La Mancha. But 95 to 99. So, yeah, that totally makes sense because Lion King was 94. Nathan Lane was starting to get popular. Birdcage is 96.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in the late 90s, I saw Nathan Lane starring in A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum.
That was 97, I think.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Never watched any of this show, personally.
Okay.
He was busy.
He was very busy.
Very busy.
Always liked Timon and Pumbaa. I just don't know how well. I've honestly never seen Lion King 1.5. And I heard that for direct-to-video Disney cash grabs, it's probably the best one.
Mm.
But I'll have to dedicate some time after I'm done watching the Dalton Bonds.
Which is what, never?
No, actually, we're reviewing one later this week, and then the next one the next week.
Yeah,
I'm watching them both. I've watched one already.
Oh, you brave man!
You know, I feel like I have to try them now because I have gained such respect for Timothy Dalton as an actor. Between Hot Fuzz and Flash Gordon, I'm like, dude owns.
Yeah. Well, we need to save that conversation then, because we got a Bond episode coming up, don't we?
Yeah.
We do.
All right, I'm moving on.
Yeah.
All right.
Quack Pack, 1996, 39 episodes. Fuck this show. Seriously. Everything wrong with Disney in the mid-90s can all be attributed to this show. Everything about this show is just Huey, Dewey, and Louie have attitudes. And, like, that type of 90s attitude where everyone was a slacker who did nothing but slouch all day. Like, their resting position was a slouch.
It's like, what would happen if you turned Huey, Dewey, and Louie into Zach from Saved by the Bell? And
then, multiplied them 2 times over.
To the extreme!
Zach Morris is trash.
Yeah, basically turn them into douchebags.
Yeah.
I've never watched a single episode of this. I've seen pictures, and that was it.
It's just
I didn't know this existed.
Okay. Well, they essentially, their entire existence is just to make Donald's life miserable because they're 3 little assholes. That's really about it. So, all right.
Take all the goodwill from all the goodwill that they engendered from DuckTales and just throw it out the window.
Yep.
Somebody at Disney was bitter about their children.
Yep. But you know what they must have had a real fetish for, though? Ducks. Because the last one on this list is the Mighty Ducks. 96 and 97, 26th episode.
Which you'd think it'd be a spin-off of the live-action show that were very popular. No.
The movies? Yep.
Yeah, no, it's had nothing to do with it. It's about anthropomorphic ducks who play hockey and get superpowers, and so they fight crime.
In space.
Right.
Yeah, in space.
Space.
And Mickey Thomas from Jefferson Starship, he sang the theme song.
Oh, good God.
You know what?
Make it stop, Andy. Make it stop.
I wish I could. I can't. It's that bad. It's just like I mean, it could have been a given. It could have been a decent like live. And isn't it a live action thing on Disney Plus now? Isn't there like a
Yeah, it's not called Mighty Ducks. It's like Mighty Ducks /
Yeah, it's based on the movie with Emilio Estevez.
Right.
So spouting off live action shit and then got kicked off.
Yeah, not the anthropomorphic ducks. Oh my God! Screw them and their corkscrew dicks. Oh, damn it!
I would far prefer to rewatch episodes of Mr. T's Saturday morning cartoon. If you're going to talk about, people that play on a team together who are there to save the universe, give me Mr. T.
Save who? I'm taking you to the gymnastics meet.
And
first name Mr., second name period, last name T.
And as far as I can tell, there's no Jim Cummings in this one. Oh wait, no, there is a little bit Jim Cummings.
Jesus. Poor Jim Cummings wasn't safe from this one.
The main character voiced by Ian Ziering.
Oh God.
That's
star of Sharknado.
That's how
but before that, he was one of the stars of 90210. Ian. I think he's an Ian, not an Ian. He's an Ian.
He is. Oh. He is an Ian, and nobody's favorite star of 90210.
No, because he was like 35.
Yeah.
And the team's manager, voiced by Jim Belushi.
Oh no!
Well, there's your stamp of quality right there.
And the three main villains are actually some quality talent. They got Tim Curry, they got Clancy Brown, and they got Tony Jay.
Oh God,
Clancy Brown, jeez.
Wow. God. And then they pissed it away.
Such a wasted talent.
Yeah. Oh,
it ran for all of 4 months.
That's a rough one to have to go out on, Mike. That really is a rough one to go out on. I
wish I could say, I'm surprised, but it was canceled on Mighty Ducks, so I'm not that surprised.
Yep. It's like the Disney afternoon came in with a bang, ended in a duck quack whimper.
Well, no, Andy, by the time it ended, it was the Disney Kellogg Alliance.
Yeah.
And I kid you not, so.
Oh, God. It's, yeah. Oh, man.
Man, before their renaissance, Disney was desperate.
Well, yeah, the second renaissance, because by this point, they had already been, if Mighty Ducks came out in 96, they already experienced Pocahontas.
Yeah.
And the Hunchback.
Yeah, right now, at this point, they were waiting for Tarzan.
Right. No, Tarzan was 99.
I know. I said they were waiting for Tarzan.
Oh, yeah.
So they basically blew through all the Little Mermaid money.
Yeah.
Yep.
All that goodwill pissed away.
And then they were lighting cigars with $100 bills from Lion King.
Yeah, they had the Little Mermaid money. They had the Aladdin money. Then they had the Lion King money.
The Lion King money. Yep. And then it all went away for a while.
Yep.
And Mike Liza said, "Hey, how about Euro Disneyland? That'll be a great idea."
Yeah. I would use all these afternoon cartoons to pay for it.
Yeah.
It's just, what the funny thing is too, when you really get down to it, it's just like, it's such a bygone thing of syndicated animation.
Yeah.
Like having to figure out what channel it is, especially if you're like watching these in college and you went to a different college in a different state, not knowing what UHF channel is going to carry your afternoon stuff.
Yeah.
So kids today don't know any better. My kid will just pop on Hulu and watch like 18 episodes of Teen Titans Go. And usually the same episodes because he does that and it drives us all nuts.
Right.
Yours too.
Yep. Yeah, buddy, haven't you seen this episode 4 times? Yeah.
That would totally have been me. But yeah, the whole like appointment watching thing is just not a thing anymore.
Right, exactly. For me now, it's like find the time when I can watch this.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, back then we had to watch it, and then if we liked it, we'd have to make sure we could throw in a VHS when it reran.
Yep.
Yeah, or learn to program your VHS. I had boxes of tapes of the shows that I liked so that I could binge watch them.
Yep.
But VHS is also like bulky, so like again, they like sold boxes that you could put your VHS tapes that would fit under your couch, so that you could then pull them out and binge watch.
And God forbid if your mom taped over one of them.
Oh, which always happens. That's why you have to snap the
no.
out.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you could snap the little things out. Second of all, my mother was not savvy enough to know how to work the VHS. That was my job.
Yeah, but you could, if you snap that off, if you put some Scotch tape over it, you could still record on it.
Yep. That's true, but that actually takes effort. That is deliberately taping over somebody else's stuff. If you make an effort to put a piece of tape on there,
you're just an evil person. You're just an evil human being.
That is just that is intent right there.
I think we're showing our age a little bit now.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. So, well, hey, Mike, great idea for a topic.
Oh, thank you.
This is a lot of fun. I mean, and especially because this wasn't my thing. I was at that point where I wasn't able to do this as much. But this is great, and it just reminds me again. I really want to go back and watch the Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers movie again. Seriously, it's that good. So, anyway, folks. So next episode, we haven't done a music episode in a while, and we alluded to it earlier. So what we are going to do is we are going to take all of the Bond theme songs, and we're going to rank them. But we're not going to numerically rank them. We are going to categorically rank them. So, upper tier, mid tier, lower tier. Not giving away the names because I think they're all brilliant, and I want to wait until that episode launches. But we are going to be putting on our Twitter at Geek Salad Radio a poll for you. We'll do that closer to when we get ready to record the episode for each of them, and the audience does get a collaborative vote
that we will then ignore.
No, we never do that.
I know,
not like that.
Yeah, come on. We'll all have a say, but it's not. I'm not doing numeric ranking on this because it's just going to be a pain in the ass. I don't feel like doing the math. But it's going to be. I think it's going to be fun because there are so many great tunes and so many. Yeah, not so great. And one, I started listening to some of them. One that outrightly plagiarizes the song from the movie that came before it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
I know. Considering that the artists are the ones responsible for writing their own songs, I know. So we'd love to hear your thoughts on that, especially if you've got a favorite. You can let us know on Twitter at Geek Salad Radio or on Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast. You can check out all of our episodes wherever you get your podcasts. If you're listening to it now, well, first of all, thank you. But you can check us out on Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, you name it. We are there. Also, check out our YouTube channel, Geek Salad Podcast, where Mike and I are ranking our choices for James Bond movies based on The Bond. We just wrapped Roger Moore last week. So, yep. Oh, boy. It's so funny how that went. Like, we managed to go chronologically with my favorite, my least favorite, Mike's favorite, his least favorite.
Yeah. So, and I had the better favorite. He had the better least favorite.
Oh, yeah. Because Moonraker sucks.
Yes, it does.
So, yeah. So, check those out.
There's no excuse for Moonraker.
Yeah.
No.
On YouTube.
Hey! Jaw's got a friend. Jaw's got a very special friend in Moonraker.
Jaw's got a girlfriend, exactly, who is half his size, and he'd break her in half the second they try anything. So,
But it's because he's nice.
Their excuse for Moonraker is, hey, Star Wars.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the biggest takeaway. That and regular sized Peter Dinklage.
With less than half the acting talent.
Exactly. And you can check those all out on our YouTube channel, Geek Salad Podcast. Don't forget, we do have a TeePublic store. Keyword is Geek Salad Podcast as well. Guys, am I forgetting anything?
I have no idea.
I would assume that is a no. So, yeah. So anyway, folks, until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
I'm Katherine.
Go forth and be nerdful. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Later.
Sorry, Dad. I didn't mean to endanger your soul like that.
This punishment is going to have to be pretty good. I used up my best stuff when she blew up the bathroom.